Hi guys, how are you? I'm at the beach trying not to embarrass myself right now, but I was like, I have to talk about Scheana and Brock or I'm going to lose my mind. I literally need to have a conversation right now. So I'm at the beach hoping nobody can see me, hear me, be around me while I'm doing this because I'm on my little mommy day off on a Friday. But I was like, oh God, we have to have a conversation about this because my entire personality used to be Vanderpump Rules. I think it kind of still is on some days, but right now it's my I was almost in my love language. My love language is Love Island. But we have to talk about it because what is going on? I have so many thoughts and opinions, and I'm gonna warn you guys, a lot of these thoughts and opinions are just like shots in the dark, honestly. They're not actual 100% thought out pieces of media. Um, so if you're part of the rewatch crew, hey, how are you? How's it going? Love you. You're the best. Don't be afraid to comment. Join the Discord. Do all that fun stuff. So, okay, let's start the conversation. Okay, so we found out, if you've been living under a Bravo rock, we found out that Brock cheated on Scheana when Scheana was pregnant with Summer Moon. Um, During COVID, like the beginning of COVID, like 2020 COVID, okay? And it was with somebody that had to do with the gym that he was working at. And it went on for a little while. I don't remember if it said like the exact time frame, but it did go on for a good enough chunk of time that it was like an affair. And basically, he said that the reason why he did it was because he was feeling very insecure about being a dad again because he feels like he failed his first two kids. He would be afraid if he failed his second two kids, his next, kid with Scheana. And that was kind of his excuse. And that's kind of where that's like the gist, guys. There's not much else we've been left with information until we read the book, which I will be reading or listening to. I kind of hope that Sheena's doing the audiobook because I think that'd be so funny to listen to Scheana do an audiobook. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but that's how I feel. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I know a lot of people have thought that he has, done something to her, that he's kind of a scam artist and only married her to get a green card. Mind you, like, if they got divorced, he's getting literally nothing. Like, I don't know if you guys understand that part of it. I don't know if a lot of fans understand that. Like, a lot of people call him a scammer, but I'm like, you can't scam somebody when you get nothing out of the scam. They have a prenup. So if they ever got divorced, he's not getting anything that she's made or done. And then on top of that, when they bought the house, he has no ownership to that house. So, and they've talked about this publicly, that his name is not on anything involving the house that they own right now. So if anything happened between the two of them, she would get the house, and that's the end of that. So the part where I just want to get that out of the way, the part where they talk about the whole like scamming situation, that's not a thing because you can't scam somebody when there's nothing to scam. When Sheena's done everything in her power to make sure that he can't do those things to her. He can't take her money, he can't take her home, he can't take anything, pretty much. And I have a hard time believing that he would be able to take Summer from her. So come hell or high water at this point. So that's kind of where that whole situation has kind of been left in that department, because I see a lot of people having that conversation, and I think a lot of people are misunderstanding that part of it. The only thing he got out of this situation, if they got divorced, was he got a green card, and that was it. And that might be enough for him. That right there might have just been the scam. He just needed the green card. Maybe that was the only scam that he needed to be scamming. You know what I'm saying? But there's no other scams going on, you guys. I hate to tell you. That being said, a couple things that were very, very concerning to me and upsetting to me as someone who has given birth to a child, has a child, that kind of story. First thing that pissed me off is obviously number one, I cannot believe that you cheated on your pregnant partner. They were not married at the time, if I remember correctly. You cheated on your pregnant partner. So you already are a POS. And are going to the 7th layers of hell for that behavior, because I cannot believe you have the audacity to do that to your partner, your pregnant partner. Like, you're sick in the brain. You have an actual problem that you need to go seek help for. That's disturbing to me. So that part alone was like, wow, Brock is a POS, and I was kind of over it from there. The other part, the other layer of it that really disturbs me and bothers me is that he had a second phone, which to me seems very sneaky, very deliberate. And it's like, it's one thing if you do it on your personal phone and then and then your partner finds out and it's like, oh God, scandalous, crazy, whatever. It's another thing to have a completely separate phone that's for work, and you use said work phone to complete an affair. That's like so gross and weird and sick and disgusting. And like that, I just am like, that's like another layer of deception that's like just outright gross. It's just, that part to me was just disgusting and gross, and I did not like hearing that. That level of deception I find to be just it's just like there's like, I feel like there's like cheating levels, okay? And that's like a level that is like too much for me. That's like, I could never trust you again. I can never be with you again. The next part that I'm just kind of like, oh, this is kind of gross, this is kind of icky, is that obviously this was during COVID. So because of that, because it was during COVID, there's danger when it comes to the whole concept of her being pregnant and you being with another person while she's pregnant. Like, you could have like endangered her. Like, you could have made her sick. You could have, like, you don't know what this other person's doing. You don't know what that random girl you were hooking up with was doing. And that part to me is like gross and creepy. And I don't like that, because you could have gotten your pregnant partner like deathly sick. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong. This was during like the height of COVID that this was happening. And Brock was doing gym, like training outside, I guess, at their gym or whatever. I don't freaking know. Like, and the fact that you risked your pregnant partner's health to get laid is another layer of selfishness and disgusting and deception and just disgusting behavior that I don't appreciate and don't understand. And for me personally, I could not forgive Brock. That's just me. I don't know how Scheana was able, I'm assuming these are the reasons why she was able to forgive him. 1, pregnant, baby, child. 2, marriage. 3, like, you've created this world where like Brock is like number one, the best, like amazing. He's just like the best dad. He's the best this, he's the best that. And we all know Scheana does that. We all know that's one of Sheena's little things, where she's like, she'll date somebody, she'll be with somebody, and they're the best everything. They're the best cook, they're the best cleaner, they're the best teacher, they're the best firefighter, they're the best everything. I mean, they've been the president of the United States 10 times over, you know what I'm saying? And so they've created this kind of little fantasy together. And I'm sure, as someone that's already been divorced once, she doesn't want to get divorced again. I don't freaking blame her. As someone who's been divorced once, I get it. It would suck. And it would be awful to get divorced again, especially when you get divorced with a kid. And, correct me if I'm wrong, Brock seems to be a great dad. Shitty husband, clearly, but a great dad. But also, are you a great dad if you do that to your child's mother? These are other things I think about all the time, where it's like, are you a great dad if you're doing something so awful to your child's mother? Something to think about. But the fact that you put your child and your wife, partner, whatever the hell, in danger during COVID just to get laid is gross to me and weird and disgusting. Because again, you don't know what that person was doing. You think you do. But you don't know what that person was doing. You don't know who they're hanging out with. You don't know if they follow the protocols. They could say they do, but that doesn't mean they fucking do. And you're adding another layer of like danger to that situation, especially to Scheana, who is like a fucking like hypochondriac basically, and has a lot of anxiety around her pregnancy, rightfully so. I can't imagine the level of scared, sadness, awfulness that Scheana went through in this situation, because she already went through so much. Because this is the thing, is like Brock didn't tell her until pretty much after like the scandal shit hit the fan. And so I can't imagine the crazy cuckoo-ness that went through that woman's brain when she found that out after the fact, when she already went crazy, went ham, went nuts when it came to the scandal of it all. And then right in the middle of that, this is happening with your partner. And then I'm sure she was like, well, if I say that it's like Brock and I are going through something similar, it's going to look like I'm trying to steal the spotlight because that's what everybody thinks I'm doing anyway. I feel like for me though, it doesn't explain away how she treated Ariana. That's the part that people are like, oh, it kind of makes sense now. And like, I've talked to some of my followers about it. And I'm like, yes, it does in certain senses, but in the sense of like, this happened to you, it didn't feel good. Why, like, did Scheana feel like, oh, I'm forgiving Brock, so why can't Ariana forgive Tom? And it's like, well, these are two different journeys. They also don't have children together. All they have is a house together. That's it. So, like, I just don't understand. I don't understand that part. I don't understand how you could be there for Ariana, or at least, like, not in any way, shape, or... Like, I don't understand the supporting Tom part. I'm never going to get it. I'm never going to understand it. It does explain some of Scheana's behaviors. It does explain some ways that, you know, some things that she was going through. But for me, it doesn't explain that she was definitely... There were times where she was just not very supportive of Ariana and her and Lala. I wonder what Lala has to say about all of this. I wonder what Lala thought. Hopefully on Give Them Lala, she will say something, because I know people thought her and Brock were doing it behind Scheana's back. Obviously, everybody thought that Brock and Rachel were doing something. I mean, and that's the only reason why Brock even came out with it, because there were so many allegations just like popping up left and right about him, that he basically had to come clean before the real allegation came to fruition, which again is gross. Like, there's just a lot of premeditated behavior. And I don't know if I want in my marriage to be like your like stalker. I don't know if I want to be up your ass 24/7, knowing where you are all the time and always have to be around you. And that's what it feels like. Is like, I guarantee you, Scheana has like a GPS shoved up his ass at this point. You know, I would love to hear what like I mean, I'm sure she will say something. I'm sure she will talk about it on her podcast, about like where it is. Another thing that I thought about too is like, and this is just a thought, okay, is like, why bring this up when it sounds like to me you've already forgiven him, you've already gotten past it? Why bring it up now when you know the internet is disgusting and nasty and crazy? And I don't mean that Brock shouldn't get hate, because he should get hate, but there's like this level of hate that is beyond, that is like scary, that can happen. And we're seeing that right now with Love Island, where like Sierra and allegedly CPS has been called on Huda while she's been on the island, things like that. Like, there's people getting called, ICE is called on them. Like, there's a difference between like holding someone accountable and just being like, yeah, I don't like you, you suck, like you're a piece of, you're POS, whatever, and then straight up being like psychotic. And that is one thing that I would be very concerned about. And I would really wonder if that was maybe the right move, because he's getting eviscerated online right now. Like, he is getting, and it's a lot of, and Scheana kind of is too, where it's like kind of like, you know, there is like an I told you so kind of vibe going on right now with the stuff I've been seeing online. And I'm sure that's like very disturbing to see and watch and talk about too. I don't know. I think I kind of, if it was 2 years later, 3 years later, I think I might keep it private and not even bring it up. Because if I already forgave you, if we already went through the hardship of it, I don't think I would want to relive it and rehash it out, especially with a bunch of people that don't know shit about me. And I find it very interesting that she did that. It's giving humiliation. I'm not gonna lie. It's giving humiliation. And many other things that I find to be things that I shouldn't say out loud because they are kind of cruel. Just because of watching Scheana for so many years. If you know, we know how Scheana can be. So there's a couple vibes there that are kind of like, I don't know. I get a little weary about her. And her, sometimes I get a little weary about her motives. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the whole situation, you guys. If you want me to go more in depth, I can. That's just kind of my feelings about the whole situation. Like, I feel a lot of different ways about it as an OG Vanderpump ruler. I feel like there's a lot of, the timing of it's very weird. But I also think that Brock is a horrible person. I personally would not be still married to him. And I don't know how she's just knowing Scheana, I'm not really sure why she's talking about this right now, because like the fact that I guarantee you she holds this over his head every single day of the week. Every single day of the week. He fucking puts the cover on the jar incorrectly of the pickles. And she's like, well, that's what happens when you're a cheater. You know what I'm saying? It explains a lot of her worries and concerns that she's had over the years. It explains her OCD. That's the other thing, is like, this woman has extreme OCD and extreme anxiety, and you just added to that for no good reason when all you had to do was just talk to somebody. This is what I'm talking about. Men would rather cheat than go to a therapist. Please explain that to me. Please make that make sense to me. You can't go to a therapist, but you can go cheat on your partner? What's that about? What is that? I don't get that. I don't understand. So, all right, well, I'm at the beach, so. I'm at the beach. Let's go get away. Where? What they want to say? This is what I've been digging at the last, 18 minutes while we've been talking. But I wanted to come on here and give my smile. What? I wanted to come on here and give my sad little opinion about the whole situation and see what you guys thought. So comment down below how you're feeling. Obviously, keep it, within reason. Don't be a psychopath. And let me know what you guys think and how you guys are feeling about the whole situation, because it's kind of wild to me and out of left field. And I'm not going to lie, good promo for the book, Scheana. Just saying, New York Times bestseller. Here we go. You know she's going to try to be a New York Times bestseller over Lala. I'm just saying. She has to be a New York Times bestseller like Stassi. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.